Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In this episode, I'm going to talk about two-stroke, and don't forget, we've got a special guest, the chill bear. Well, I gotta do some carving, and in this video, I carve a bear, but not just any bear, the chill bear. Have you ever carved a bear that looks so comfortable that you're like, geez, I'm kind of envious? Well, this guy's no exception. I also throw in my own 2 cents on two-stroke mix. My name is Jeff Mohr. I'm the Northwoods Carver, and thanks for seeing what I saw.
Welcome back, everyone. Jeff Mohr, Northwoods Carver, and we are going to be carving on this crazy thing that came from the top of a log that a guy wanted me to carve. And basically, when I got the log, I kept cutting it. Like it was a beautiful big log with crazy stuff like this all over it, right? So basically, I kept cutting the base because it was kind of rotten. I just kept cutting and cutting and cutting. And before I knew it, that's all I had that was any good. And I told the guy, hey, let me just get you a log and I'll just keep this one and I'll just get you a full-size log. And it worked out. Anyway, I've been driving past this thing for about 6 months. And today's the day. It's about 50 degrees outside. It's like December 22nd. And look at this. Beautiful. I love this kind of weather. So I don't know what I'm going to do. It's not for anyone. I'm not carving this for any particular person. It's just something that I thought, I need to have my own pieces, like just the ones that I just want to do and be creative with, and maybe not spend oodles and oodles of time on it. Just make it a good representational thing of my style and ability. Also, like I said, not too much detail. Like, I'm not going to sit on it for a month sanding it and trying to get everything perfect. I want it to just be basically a chainsaw carved thing, maybe with some burning and some Osborne brushing. And if you don't know what those two things are, then stick around because you're going to find out. I'll be using my blocker. I'm just going to use my 400, my steel 400. It's a great saw. I got 0 complaints. I also have MS362, 241. I've got my 194. I got 3 194s. I got 2 different carving bars. One's a little longer than the other, and then I have just like a stock 14-inch bar on the other one. And I really like blocking out. Once I get through with this, I'll use that. It's lightweight. My joints can't take it anymore, so just try to get through the big stuff with this, and then a couple other saws. But we're not going to be into the detail work, not for a while. So anyway, so I like to talk about the oil that I choose to use in my saws. I have many different saws, and people ask always about what's the what is it? Do you run 50 to 1? I know a lot of guys are running 40 to 1. And to me, it's everybody's preference. Also, the oil that they're using. Some people like that silver bottle. This is the orange, obviously. And I prefer the orange. I like the old school orange. It seems to do a really nice job, and it gets that lower end lubed, the old dinosaur orange. The silver stuff, I believe, from what my guys are telling me, is that was designed more for the 4-stroke than the 2-stroke. And it does a better job in the 4-stroke than the 2-stroke. I watch a lot of YouTube videos because I'm not all that up to date on any of this stuff. I just have to know enough to make sure my stuff runs good, and I don't really care so much about the politics of all this stuff right here. But I can tell you, like, bar oils, they're not designed equally. There's a bunch of different really good bar oils out there, but they're pricey. They're getting pricier and pricier. I'm trying this here high tack bar and chain oil. I have no idea. I've never used it before. Apparently I've used it a little bit, but what I'm looking for in a bar oil is that, see that strand? Woo, it's like a spider web. Now, if you have a bar oil and you're using that bar oil, you're gonna, let me see if I can get this up here. You're gonna want to see a lot of that. See that? It's a little chilly, it's like 50. So of course it's gonna act like it's a better, has more tack fire in there. And but so far I'm pretty impressed with it. I used it a little bit on an on-site job, and it's important because when you have these chainsaw bars that are special made, like the Samurai Legends and all that, I'm not so much worried about the Samurai Legends because I'm running canola, or not canola, but just regular corn oil on them. And you can use canola. I just prefer something that's made here in the United States and it's less expensive, and I have zero problems with it. Zero. It doesn't smell as good as the canola oil, I'll tell you that. But it doesn't smell like cookies. Canola oil smells like cookies when you get it warm on the battery saws. But for like the Samuras and like the Canon bars and stuff, they're not cheap. So you needed something that's going to have something that's going to tack that oil to the bar and kind of keep it from all just atomizing and fleeing out into the atmosphere. You can see it, like if you put it up to the light and you just hit that trigger, you can watch that stuff just leave. It just goes like a billion zillion little particles, and it's going to happen regardless, even with the really good sticky stuff. But the residue is going to be there to save the bar, which helps, right? So also tending to your bar is a big one, keeping friction down. Steel oil is it's Castrol, and Castrol makes bar oil. They used to have it in a different, it's like called Castrol Special or something to that effect. That and if you don't believe me, you can look up fucking Billy Ray on YouTube. That is one guy that's really into his stuff. He's into the technical parts. He's a tree filler. So he's into his saws. He's into the high performance stuff. He's got years of experience. I do too, but not in that realm. It's sort of like I'm like a race car driver, except I'm really slow. I'll be like a slow race car driver. Anyway, so I'm like a slow race car driver, but I'm still fast enough. Like I'm a professional at what I do. And it's just about what happens at the end, right? So it's not how you race, it's where you place, I guess. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is I have been carving and using the tools. You ever see that movie? What's that movie with Tom Cruise, Days of Thunder? And the guy has no clue about a car. That's me. And when it comes to that, like I was saying, he's got no clue about a car or performance, or he doesn't know any of that stuff. He just knows how to drive it. He knows what he wants out of it, and he can't even describe what's happening until the mechanic actually, the guy that's built the car is just like, tell me what it's doing, and then they figure it out. And then he gives them answers for those things, right? So he's like, when I'm coming into the corner, it's getting slippery and this, and then the mechanic's like, that's because this and this, you need to do this and this to alleviate that problem. Well, that's kind of how I am with chainsaw carving. I'm learning some stuff. I'm not a mechanic. I take my stuff to a shop, so I don't have time to dink with it. I don't have the skills, and I don't have time to learn. I'm 58 now, and I don't want to just go back to school on how to fix a carburetor. I just bring it in. To me, it's just, I got more saws. That's why I have so many saws. If something breaks, I just bring it in, they fix it. And they tell me how screwed up it was. But that's what I do. And that's, I don't think there's any shame in that. Not everybody can be a mechanic, and not everybody can be an artist, It'd be like asking the mechanic to come on over here and learn to be an artist. He'd be like, I ain't got time for that. I gotta go turn wrenches. I'll see you after. And that's exactly how it is. So when it comes to the oil, just like when it comes to carving, And just like when it comes time to pick a saw or whatever, you just have to go with your gut. And, you know, if you have good results with the silver blend, have at her. If you have great results like myself with just these, I've been carving for 35 years, and I've been, you know, I worked in the tree service for about 10 years before that, and that's what we always used. And I'm sure they've changed this. If you watch that thing from Buck and Billy Ray, I'll try to find that link and post it somewhere here. But it's very intriguing and informative. Also, there's other people that work on saws for a living that will tell you the same. I don't know why Steel does that. I don't know why they promote it. There's a lot of questionable stuff going on with that silver stuff. But anyway, that's just my perspective. I'm allowed to have that. So I was discussing the orange bottle. This is what I had to use because I ran out of the 2-galloners. And basically, this will work just fine. But one of the tricks I recommend doing is once you pour this, I already mixed it, but once you pour this in there, and there's always going to be a residue in there. So what I like to do is slide this. This will fit right on here, just like so. It fits tight, snug. So what you do is you just pour a little bit, either from here or from the can that you're filling from. Usually I have just a little sniff left in there. And I'll just take the lid, put that back on there, give her a good shake. I'll put this back in. And then also, you pour this back in there. And you get all of the oil. If you're crazy anal like me, I'll do that. But also, this acts as a great dust. It keeps dust and rain and whatever out if you lose the top, and it stays in there pretty good. Well, I try to go and make videos that are non-controversial, but hopefully that 2-stroke mix thing didn't freak too many people out. Because I know people are like, well, that's all they got. It's like, well, that's fine, whatever. I don't just blindly follow people on Facebook, and I don't expect you to follow me on, like, blindly. Do a little research. All right, we're all gassed. I got my files, I got my chainsaw tool, I got my generator to run the camera so it doesn't die on me. I got my headset, I got my phone, I got my tools, I got my gas and oil, I got my wood, I got the time, and I got the weather for it, so let's see what happens.
Well, it's a well-known fact that I am not just slow, I am indecisive as well. Why waste any wood, right? That's my slogan, it's my motto, that's my creed. I'm not going to try to, go too deep, go too far. I like to leave things around just in case I might want to use them or add something or whatever. So in my defense, that's what I'm going to stand on. That's my soapbox. I shall stand on that soapbox until my last days, or until I retire eventually. But getting back to this particular bear, I wanted to make something that made me feel comfortable, like made me feel at ease. And I think when I carve stuff like this, it's like a reflection of my most inner being. I'm exposing here my soft white underbelly and my sensibility towards comfort. I love to be comfortable, and this guy, I wanted him to be super comfortable because I don't know, I just wanted it that way. And I think other people, honestly, when they see this kind of thing, they really can relate to it, really. And I think they are kind of like me, my customers, in that way. Okay, I missed the burning part. I was gonna have that, but it was kind of it was just gonna add too much time to the video, so I just decided to blip that out and get right to the Osborne brush. For those of you that don't know what one is, here's a good look.
So I'm here to share this pretty cool tool. My buddy Brandon Kroon from Australia gave this to me. I complimented him on it. Wow, that's pretty cool. It's a toilet brush. Kinda. What's better to use a toilet brush on than a turd? So here we go. So I could get most of this with the big brush, the Osborne brush. But there's a lot of stuff that you can't reach, and if we're gonna paint this, you gotta get all that stuff out of there. Otherwise the paint's just gonna lift. So this is how it goes, isn't it? I forgot where I got that. That's pretty cool. I have just too much cool stuff. I don't even know where it comes from. It might come from a store. A big dork store. It's not aggressive like the Osborne brush is. And if I sound a little stuffed up, it's because I am. That'll do her. So here's the deal. As you can see, I have tortured this poor guy. He's just chilling out. Torched him, brushed him, toilet brushed him. And so the next thing I need to do is take this, you know, I've got some overcuts and a few things going on that aren't quite pretty right here. So what I'm just gonna try to do is, you know, just clean it up a little bit. I want when I do the paint on this, I want the guy to be nice and clean. I don't want it to be, and again, maybe I'll just leave it.
See, I told you I didn't know what I was doing. All right, well, here I am cleaning this thing up. You know, to this point, my mind was going in two different directions. It's like, well, this is kind of a cool bear. How much time should can I really? Maybe I should just spend a little more time on it. Maybe I should just do this. Maybe I should just do that. And instead, I didn't do much of anything. For a guy who doesn't do anything, he sure looks busy. But anyway, I'm taking off the outer layer because I made up my mind that I was going to gouge it. And I don't like gouging into the outer layer because there's usually dirt and sand and all kind of unmentionables. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, cleaning her up for the gouge. Yeah, this is the day I think Bill was there to help me with some stuff around the shop. And I was able to get some gouging in, and I'm not sure, but I think he was able to help me out in certain spots, I believe. It's hard to tell because, oh, there he is. Yeah, see, I thought I was going crazy. Yeah, I thought I saw Bill. Anyways, so I'm just getting some textures in just to make it look a little bit more authentic, like it's some sort of a wood base. Yeah. And we unceremoniously dip right into the section, the paint section. Well, we're here, you know, we've already sealed it 2 or 3 times with oil, with Cabot's, and then I'm in here doing the, you know, the black and then the dry brush on top of the black, so that you can kind of see I added some blues and some yellows and some greens to make it more exciting. Okay, well, maybe not exciting, but it looked cooler that way. I just thought it had a little bit more, I don't know, it looked kind of more ethereal. Well, that's a dumb word. It just looked more dynamic with those other colors in there. And it didn't just look like a gray blob like it does here in these pictures. But yeah, you can see the colors I put in certain light with certain filters. Dry brushing is probably my favorite way to finish a carving. I think you can get so much more out of them. You can really get the wood to come alive with a great paint job. I mean, that's just, in this, I wouldn't even say it's a great paint job, but it's adequate for the piece, and it really made me happy to do it. So find your happy people. Not your happy people, but find your happy people, and I will see you on the next one.